I'm Ken Steele. Welcome to another 10 with Ken. In the decade ahead, higher education is going to have to work hard just to keep up with continually evolving technologies and a changing labor market. We're going to have to become even more flexible in our programs and credentials in order to meet the needs of part-time working students and to take work-integrated learning to entirely new levels. And some college leaders believe that if our public institutions don't start working more collaboratively, they will be forced into it. This week I sit down with Paula Burns, president of Lethbridge College, to talk about how colleges should start preparing for 2028. This week we're here at Lethbridge College in southern Alberta, speaking with Paula Burns, the president and CEO, about innovations. Second question I'd like to ask you, Paula, is about the next 10 years in higher education and what innovations you think are going to become more and more commonplace or perhaps even become mainstream in the college and university world over the next 10 years.
One of them, I think, is the work-integrated learning. I can remember even in my previous institution we did work to make sure that every student had some opportunity for work-integrated learning. But one of the things that I think is going to happen is that there's going to be more, and I'll switch it and say that there'll be integrated work learning. And so that those who are actually working are going to be coming back for shorter periods of time to do things in our institutions that will help them in their job. As things automate more in industry and manufacturing in particular, and as things go more digital, there's a need for people to have some reskilling, retraining, but yet maintaining the workforce. And so I think corporations are looking at, well, how can we reskill people for new things that are coming to our workplace without having to sort of change our entire workforce. One of the things I think we have to think about is how do we respond to that, which again I think means that we have to have flexible learning and delivery models. We need to think about the student a little bit differently that might want a little bit different format. I think we've seen the number of part-time students actually increase over the last 10 years, and in the next 10 we'll probably see that increase even more. And even in, for example, virtual reality, how do we actually keep up with that? We can't take 18 months to 2 years to even 4 years to create a program in virtual reality when the industry demand is such that they need graduates yesterday.
I subscribe to a daily email that has 5 to 10 new pieces of technology every day in VR, and I'm finding it overwhelming just to sort of watch what's happening.
I've had the opportunity this year to participate in a couple of really neat sort of working sessions, one with Deloitte and one with the McConnell Foundation, and looking at what are the skills of the future, which really are those people skills still, which I think particularly as colleges we excel in. And so we need to highlight that. We need to, yes, be career-based with the technical parts of programming, but we also need to continue to focus on the critical thinking, the team working, the ability to communicate in different means. And so I think as institutions, that's something we need to do. How do we innovate as a system for sustainability? So even some of the things I've described are fantastic things that are happening within programs, within the classroom, within applied research, and that's happening in each of our colleges and universities and institutions across Canada. But how as a system do we really innovate? Collaboration and potentially even mergers and integration are going to be the way of the future. We can't all continue to do the same thing and think that we're going to be sustainable. Our industry really needs to shift and change and to sort of follow the lead of others as well.
There's a way in which these new technologies are making boundaryless classrooms, libraries, campuses, research collaborations span the globe. There's no reason why programmatic teaching collaborations couldn't span the globe as well. And as you say, institutions could leverage each other's strengths rather than duplicating and sometimes pale imitation of each other in some areas, right? So more collaboration seems possible. It's just that the incentives from government and the system don't tend to align with collaboration.
No, that's
they still
correct.
Want competition.
We talk lots about collaboration, but the system is still set up for competition, absolutely. One of the things that we've thought about doing is really integrating so our sort of what I'll call our academic programming, the regular certificates, diploma, degree, along with the applied research, the corporate and continuing education, the professional education, and how do we integrate all that into a center of excellence so that they're all working together and in essence not competing against each other. So we might choose 4 or 5 strength areas for us to do that in. Other institutions may have different strengths. weaknesses so that we actually really focus the resources on our strengths. One of the things about innovation in higher ed is that outside of higher ed is pushing us to do it as well, and that we need to pay attention to that. We can be leaders in our community around innovation. We can have community partnerships that will do some amazing things. We just need to allow ourselves to do that and to sort of step out of our own box and be part of a wider whole. I think lots of people are asking us to do that.
Okay. I hope you'll join me next time as we wrap up my conversation with Paula Burns by talking about how college leaders can nurture a culture of innovation on campus. We'll talk about innovation as marathon, as sandbox, and as unstructured play. I hope you'll join us, but to be sure you don't miss it, take a moment now to subscribe. And in the meantime, check out some other episodes on the culture of innovation at 10withken.com. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll join me next time as we wrap up. I hope you'll join us, but to be sure you don't miss it, take a moment. Sorry. Need a haircut.